might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish your best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Good morning. I'm Jane Gilbreth, a longtime member of All Souls Church. Whether you are here in the room after braving that bitter cold or watching online, we're glad you're here. Your presence enriches all of us and our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Our tradition is a large tent with room for many beliefs and approaches to the questions that matter. Our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice hold us together. We seek to build the beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. You may be new here this morning. Welcome. We know that they're your first time attending a church. You may want to keep a low profile and just check things out quietly. And that's great, and we're glad you're here. But if you're a visitor and excited to let us all know that you're here, I invite you to raise your hand at this time. Welcome. Thank you for enriching all of us with your presence today. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today.
Good morning, friends. Good morning. Today is the day. Today is the day. Please join us as voting members in Bragg right after our service when we vote on our new settled minister, the Reverend Erin Dajka Holley. It will be at 12 p.m. today. If you have any questions, we will have a table set up outside where you check in for your ballot. Anybody from the board can help you. Give us about maybe 10 minutes to get the lobby set up after services to check in to get your ballot to come into Bragg for the vote. It's a good day.
Thank you, Brian, for the announcement about today. Tomorrow is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is our tradition to devote the service on the Sunday prior to considering the impact of Dr. King. Today, we invite everyone
to be part of the entire service, no matter their age. So that means, young people, you're staying with all of us. And what we're going to do is tell the story of the civil rights movement, uplifting notable events. I know that some of you here lived this story. You attended protests, showed up, and were part of the movement that supported Black rights. Others here read about it while it happened. You saw the photos, you saw the news clips. And some of us weren't born until decades after the Civil Rights Act and have only learned about that time as history. And our smallest ones here may not have learned about it at all yet. So let us remember, let us learn. We're telling this story in 4 parts, and it's based on the book Let Freedom Sing by Vanessa Newton. We have filled in her words with more information, fleshing out the brief descriptions of the events. And what we present today is directed toward the young ones among us. And we hope that adults will reflect on our own experiences and learnings and how this history has impacted us, shaped us, and lives with us still. How does the history call us forward in this time? How does it call us to change ourselves or take action? We uplift and honor all that Dr. King gave to this nation, including his life. He taught us so much about what it means to resist, to be free, and to embrace the interconnected web of which we are a part. And right now, I believe we need to remember the larger story, the harder story, the story of suffering and organizing, working hard and showing up, and for those people who walked to work every day for more than a year. The furthering of civil rights and voting rights in this country did not happen out of whole cloth. There are important moments in the history that are not included in this book because the book was written for children. The moments of violence and terror. And I ask you to remember those too and what they offer our hearts and our spirits. Our history is tenuous, shaped by who does the telling, wiped out of the records by those with power. Hold strong to the history. Do not let it slip away. Teach it to the children. Let us gather and remember. Let us learn and be shaped. Let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting words are by the Reverend Michelle Collins. This flame burns for the courage we find when fear makes sense. Not the absence of doubt, but the choice to act anyway. We light it for those who speak when silence feels safer, and those who act when invisibility beckons. Please rise in body or spirit to join in renewing our covenant and for the song. Together we affirm, goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I could say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole world to hear. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart. Remove all the parts that still keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree everyone should be free. Then you'd see and agree everyone should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things I could do. Then way overdue, I'd be starting anew. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
All right, do I have any little ones here with us today that would like to come sit with me? Come on up. Hi. Good morning. Whoa. This is the Wonder Box. Good morning, friends. My heart is so happy you're here with me today. I decided to bring with me today our Wonder Box from downstairs. For the grown-ups up here, we start our morning downstairs in the classroom with this Wonder Box. And it always gives us a clue about what we're going to wonder about together. Shall we take a look? Yes. All right, I'm gonna open it up. Let's see what we have. I'm gonna hold it up and let's just, there's one. Oh, very good. Huh. Let's think about this. Have you seen these signs before? No. No? You have a thought? What is your thought? Oh, maybe describing snow? Interesting. You have a thought? Okay, so maybe like what's going to go on the paper next, like nothing goes on this paper and lots of colors go on this paper? Okay, Jude, you have a thought? Oh, is it something about the civil rights movement? That's Jude's thought. Very good thought. You've been paying attention. All right. You have another thought? One more thought. Okay, that's a good thought. All right, let's scroll just a little bit so I can catch where we are. All right, let me tell you a little more about these signs because they're pretty important to learn about. Not that long ago, in many parts of our country, the USA, these signs were used to separate people by the color of their skin. These signs were hung in public spaces over things like water fountains, in restrooms, on buses, over the seats of buses, and even entire schools were separated this way. Yeah. They were used to tell Black people where they were allowed to be, and it was usually not the same places as the white people if they saw these signs. Tell me, does your body feel these words? What do you feel in your body when you hear that? You had to sit in a certain area. You have a thought? Yeah. Right. Usually the whites got to sit somewhere better. That's right. I know, it is a sad feeling, isn't it? I feel sad too. Do you?
If you were in a school, there would be a sign, color, and white.
Yeah.
So like to separate one this, and usually the white people would have better, Black people. White people would have better, Black people better.
Yes, I think you're onto something. Yes. In schools, they would have separate places for white people and Black people, and the white people would have better supplies, school supplies. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. Go ahead.
Black people. I read a book that maybe a story on TV. Also only boys go to school, not girls.
Yeah, a very long time ago, I guess, yeah, only boys got to go to school sometimes. Yeah. That's another part of separating people. Yeah. So I heard we feel sad about this. Does anybody else feel a different way about this?
Black people.
You feel a different way?
Feel sad.
You really feel sad. Yeah, I do too. Sometimes I feel mad. Does anybody feel mad about that? Like, yeah? Yeah, I feel sad and mad too. Okay, so this kind of separation, hold on, we're gonna move on, has a name. Does anybody know the name of this kind of separation of people by their skin color? You? So it sounds a lot like separation. What is it?
Race.
Ooh, getting close. It is, it's a part of racism called segregation. Is that what you're gonna say? You were gonna say segregation? Yeah, segregation is a huge part of racism. And here's something very important I want you to know. There was laws called Jim Crow laws that made this legal. Like this was the law. And people are expected to follow it. And even though these laws existed and they were legal, they were wrong and they hurt Black people. They hurt all of us, but especially Black people. So not that long ago, segregation was happening and people were hurting. And there's more to this story that you're gonna learn about today in our church service, but we're gonna move on and I'm gonna need your help as we move on. So I need 12 volunteers and you're gonna help us tell the next part of the story with Reverend Erin and I, okay? And so if you are willing to help, see if I can pick them up. I'm gonna have you take one of these back to your seat and listen to the story. And when I say your card, I'm gonna have you bring it up and help me make kind of like a puzzle that we're gonna call a mosaic, okay? All right, so it's kind of first come, first serve, but don't push. So come on up, and you can go back to your seats. You wanna help, Erin? Okay, come on up. Come on. Orange people?
All right. While they're taking their seats, we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming offering. My name's Angela Ferguson Allard, and I'm a longtime member of All Souls. And today it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of the organizers from More Squared. All Souls is an original founding member of the Metropolitan Organization for Racial Economic Equity. And today, Jay Jones, he's the organizer of the Environmental Hub. Our offering today will be going to More Squared's work, and we appreciate your generosity. Any funds that are put in the basket, if you are writing a check, please designate it for the special offering, and online you can do the same. Thank you for your generosity. And Jay, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Good morning, family. I'm Jay Jones, community organizer with More Square. The Environmental Action Hub was established in 2024 for a very specific reason. Our community deserves more than concern. We deserve action. And from the moment we opened the doors, we committed ourselves to challenging the systems that have allowed inequities to become normal. The hub is not just a space, it's a strategy to take community concerns and turn them to organized power. Every day our residents are navigating real conditions, not theories, not policy changes, but lived reality. Issues like air quality and unsafe infrastructure that limit mobility and safety. These are not isolated problems. They are the results of systems that have been underinvested in certain communities far too long. For too long, truth has functioned as our dividing line in Kansas City. But if truth is our divider, Brush Creek must be our connector. It is one landmark that moves east to west, linking our neighborhoods and reminding us that our futures are tied together. That is why the hub exists. We are building this work with structure and accountability. Our Environmental Justice Task Force meets monthly on the third Tuesday of the month at Central Christian Church, 3801 East Linwood. The hub itself is open and accessible Thursdays from 4 to 7, Saturdays from 9 to 12. Residents can come and report issues and find solutions. When we talk about the hub, it's 4 pillars: educate, empower, connect, and change. These hours are not just about access. They are about organizing, relationship building, and challenging the conditions that no longer serves our people. Because this work is not about you, it's not about me, it's about us. And where we live should not determine if we live. And as believers, we all have the responsibility. It's our duty to be involved in justice for our community, to challenge systems that harms, to build systems that heals. So I invite you, all of you, to get involved, and let's build a better community for all. Thank you.
The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you. Please join me as we dedicate the offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, and to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and we are going to sing This Little Light of Mine. So, Vanessa Newton wrote this book, Let Freedom Sing. She wrote it to encourage all of us to sing for freedom. And it begins with the song we just sang. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
On benches? There. On benches just for colored, black folks obeyed the rules.
There were many laws that tried to make black people less than white people. And it was always wrong. White leaders did this and other terrible things for a very long time. And the black people were frustrated and tired of it. They knew it was wrong. So the black people decided to try to change it. And they made plans together and with people of all races. They made plans to resist the laws, plans to show how unfair the laws were. They attended schools to teach each other how to lead and organize people and disrupt the way things were. One of those schools was the Highlander Folk School in Tennessee. It was founded by Miles Horton in 1932, originally to teach about labor organizing and general adult education. But its focus shifted to race relations in the 1950s. Leadership training at the Highlander Folk School brought forth many strong civil rights activists. One person who attended a workshop there was named Rosa Parks. She lived in Montgomery, Alabama, and became a leader with the local National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, and helped to organize people in her city for justice. And one day, Rosa sat on the bus, and a white woman told her to move, but Rosa didn't. The bus driver told her that by the law she had to move, but she did not. Rosa knew that she would get into trouble, but she knew that the law wasn't fair. So she sat right there, even when the police came. And the police arrested her and took her to jail. But lots of people watched, and they told stories about what she had done, and it was in the newspaper.
December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to move. She let her light shine. Would the person with the mosaic piece for December 1st, 1955, please bring it up to our board? It will also say Rosa Parks on it. Okay.
Too often, white people have told this story as though Rosa Parks, what she did, that it wasn't on purpose. I was taught in school that she was tired and didn't want to move. That somehow, when she engaged in civil disobedience, she didn't know that her actions would have a lasting impact. And such retellings seek to whitewash the civil rights movement, to make it seem as though there were only a few black leaders, that no one else had agency. And we cannot accept this. We must tell the whole story, that black people in Montgomery had been organizing for years. The work had leaders, yes, and it also had so many people and so many women behind the scenes doing the work, building community and making plans. Now, one of those leaders in Montgomery was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was the minister at the all-black Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, which I visited a few years ago. He was also on the executive committee of the national level, NAACP. And he was only 26 years old when Rosa Parks refused to move. And the people in Montgomery and the people at the national level agreed. In response to Rosa Parks' arrest, they would boycott the buses there, and Martin Luther King Jr. would lead the effort.
December 4th, 1955. Preaching from his pulpit, Dr. King had a dream. When he spoke in Alabama, he let his light shine. Would the person with the December 4th, 1955 mosaic please bring it forward? See, can you reach?
The Montgomery bus boycott lasted for 382 days, more than a year. All of the black people, most of whom had taken the bus to work or school, found other ways to get there. Many walked. And some people with cars kind of set up their own taxi service for each other. And the people were tired, because on top of their job, they had to walk to and from work every day. But as there were so few riders on the bus, the city wasn't collecting enough fees from riders to keep the buses going. So the white city leaders had to change the laws. Everyone was to sit where they wanted on the bus and be treated the same. So all of that hard organizing work, all of that walking, it worked. Their collective efforts changed the law.
December 5th, 1955 to December 21st, 1956. With boycotts in Montgomery, Dr. King inspired everyone. Walkers along the bus routes, they let their lights shine. With the person with the December 5th to December 21st mosaic piece, please bring it forward.
We're going to sing again.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now, under Jim Crow and segregation, there were different schools for black kids and white kids. This was true in most of the country. This was true here in Kansas City. In 1954, the Supreme Court decided in Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka that having separate schools for kids from different races wasn't right. The schools were supposed to be equal, but they weren't. The schools for black kids were smaller, run down, had fewer classes offered, and not enough books or teachers. So when the Supreme Court decides that something isn't fair based on the Constitution, it makes the country change the laws. And a lot of white people didn't want their kids going to school with black kids. When the school board in Little Rock, Arkansas decided that they had no choice but to change the rules, they invited black high school kids to be the first to go to the white school. And when those first 9 black students showed up, the Arkansas National Guard was there, keeping them out to maintain and restore order. Crowds yelled mean things at them, making them feel unsafe. So the next time they tried to go to that school 2 weeks later, they entered the building, but the crowds outside rioted, and the police escorted the black students away for their safety. Only when President Eisenhower ordered the Army and National Guard to stop the angry white crowds and escort the 9 black students to their classes were they actually able to go to the white school.
September 23rd, 1957, the Little Rock Nine, Ernest Green, Elizabeth Eckford, Jefferson Thomas, Gloria Ray, Terrence Roberts, Carlotta Walls, Mittie Jean Brown, Melba Patillo, and Thelma Mothershed. Schools for blacks in Little Rock, separate but not equal. 9 high school kids, they let their light shine. And is this our mosaic piece? Thank you.
It wasn't an accident when 4 freshmen from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University sat down at the white-only lunch counter at Woolworth's in Greensboro. They had heard about nonviolent protests and sit-ins. They read about them and talked to others about it. And they met with the white businessman and activist Ralph Jones, who supported the NAACP. They planned exactly what they would do. On that day, first, they went to his store and asked Ralph Johns to call a newspaper reporter. Then they purchased items from the Woolworth store and kept their receipts. Finally, they sat down at the counter and asked to be served. And they waited. They politely asked again, and they waited. When the manager asked them to leave, they did. And finally, when they got back to campus, they told everybody at the university what had happened. The next day, 29 well-dressed black students sat at that counter. And as word spread, more and more people engaged in these sit-ins at lunch counters. And eventually, the lunch counters couldn't serve anyone during the sit-ins because there was no room for anyone else, and they were getting bad press. So they changed their rules so that black people could sit there too.
February 1st, 1960, the Greensboro Four. Azell A. Blair Jr., David Richmond, Joseph McNeil, Franklin McCain. Students at lunch counters, They hoped to be served. As the Greensboro Four sat waiting, they let their light shine. Would the person with our February 1st, 1960 mosaic piece please bring it forward? Oh no. Check your cards. It's somewhere hiding. Oh, I see it coming. Yes. Would you like to put it on the board?
Elementary schools in the South continued to be fully segregated, and the NAACP sued Louisiana to integrate. Federal Judge Skelly Wright ruled that if lawmakers and school boards did not integrate the schools, they would instead be forced to close. Ruby Bridges was 6 years old and had passed the entrance exam to be able to attend the white school. And so, with the support of her mother, Ruby was to attend a white elementary school. She was escorted by federal marshals to walk past the crowds that shouted and threw things to try to stop her. And when she went into the school, they took her to the principal's office, and then the parents of all of the other students, who were all white, rushed in behind her and took their kids home. For her safety, she was the only student in her class. It was just her and the teacher. And she couldn't eat in the cafeteria or play on the playground. But her bravery was the beginning of change and integration. Ruby is in her 70s, and she has spent her life as an activist for anti-racism.
November 14th, 1960. At a school in New Orleans, shouting filled the air. Ruby Bridges walked alone. She let her light shine. If you have the puzzle piece that is November 14th, 1960, can you please bring it up here?
There it is. And let's sing.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thanks, Daisy. 1963 marked 100 years since the Emancipation Proclamation. 100 years since Abraham Lincoln decreed that all enslaved people must be free. And people who were working for civil rights were frustrated that in 100 years, Black people were still working toward having the rights they should have as citizens of this country. Several organizations that work towards this decided to hold a march in Washington that year, a demonstration of the power of so many people showing up together to demand the government provide protections against discrimination. They called it the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. More than 200,000 people marched to the Lincoln Memorial, where musicians of all races performed, where orators made impassioned speeches. Everyone was joined together with the shared purpose of demanding that the rights of Black people be protected. And the last person to speak was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had helped to plan the event. And Dr. King had worked with the other organizers to carefully craft a speech that would bring to memory so much that had happened and to uplift just the right themes and tone. And after many drafts, Dr. King didn't finish writing it until 3:30 in the morning, the day of the event. And so at the end of the day, he stood there before the crowd and started to speak from what he had written. But something inside of him called for something different. So he then spoke directly from his heart, using words that were new and ideas that he had spoken of in speeches many times before. And that moment, as his face and oration came alive, he proclaimed, "I have a dream." He talked about what it would be like to be in the world that he imagined, one where Black people would be deemed equal to white people, where there would be justice for the wrongs done to Black people, where his children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. His dream was freedom, true freedom, for all of the Black people who had suffered so much for centuries. And his words will be remembered forever, calling for a future that was only imagined.
August 28th, 1963. At the March on Washington, thousands walked for miles. Dr. King had a dream. He let his light shine.
People kept protesting. People marched. When the police and authorities tried to stop them with violence, the protesters tried their hardest to not respond with violence. Terrible things happened, and some people died when they demanded rights or supported the movement. Until the president, Lyndon Johnson, decided that it was too much and that the laws had to change. And he worked hard with Black organizers and other politicians to make sure that Congress passed a law that would grant Black people the rights they had always deserved. The Civil Rights Act was passed, and it outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. It prohibited racial segregation and employment discrimination. President Johnson signed it on July 2nd, 1964. Now, even though it had been legal for Black men to vote since 1868 and for Black women to vote since 1960, many states had laws that made it impossible for Black people to register to vote. So another bill was passed, the Voting Rights Act, that explicitly made it illegal to prevent Black people from registering or voting. President Johnson signed that law on August 6th, 1965.
July 2nd, 1964, and August 6th, 1965. President Lyndon Johnson helped to change the law. Civil rights for everyone. He let his light shine. Would the person with July 2nd, 1964 and July 6th, 1965 mosaic piece please bring it up? You got it. I lined it up at the bottom here. That's how. Yeah, perfect.
The laws had changed, and many things got better. It became possible for Black people to go to the same schools as white people, to get the same jobs as white people, to live without all the restrictions of segregation. The country struggled to accept the leadership of Black people, but at the same time, they became national leaders and the CEOs of companies, and eventually president. Almost 44 years after the Voting Rights Act, Barack Obama, a black man, swore the oath and became president of the United States.
January 20th, 2009, speaking to all Americans, Barack Obama had a dream. As President of the United States, he let his light shine. Shall we sing?
I will admit real quick, I wrote a lot of words for y'all. So if somebody's got the wiggles or needs to go relieve themselves, just do it, come back. We're going to take a little bit longer. I want to get through this work. Now, the book ends here with President Barack Obama, and that actually makes sense since the book was published in 2009. But the story does not end. Even with laws to protect black people, even having a black president, the struggle for black people to be treated equally did not end. When laws change, they do what they can to make people behave differently, but there are limitations. There are still people who don't agree with the new laws and do things that are against the law. Sometimes those people write more laws in ways for people to get around the civil rights laws that they don't agree with. And while we Unitarian Universalists have shown up throughout history to support black people, lots of people in this country still do not think that black people should be equal to white people. And one of the ways that this happened was the creation of laws that made it easier to send more black people to prison. The laws themselves may not look like they were made to do this, but that's exactly what they did. People with power, whether politicians or the media, told an untrue story that black people are all criminals and that everyone else should be afraid of them. It's amazing how powerful a story like that can be when it is told in big and small ways all of the time. Because many police officers believed the stories that black people were dangerous. They arrested more black people, and they hurt and killed more black people than anyone else. After decades of people killing black people and not facing any consequences or going to prison, people were angry and wanted things to change. Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi started a new movement called Black Lives Matter to protest this, and it was the first big movement to have a hashtag. And lots of people supported this work of trying to stop deaths and have there be consequences. People have protested and marched together, once again calling for change. And you may have noticed that there's a huge Black Lives Matter sign on our building because we believe that black people are important.
2013 to right now, Black Lives Matter. Alicia, Patrisse, and Opal let their lights shine.
After the first time Donald Trump was president, people wanted leaders who would take care of the people in this country, who would work to stop climate change and help create justice for black people. And when Joe Biden ran against Trump, he knew that he needed a powerful person to run with him to be vice president. And he saw how smart and capable Kamala Harris was. And knowing that there would be people who would threaten her, Ms. Harris still decided that she would accept those risks and that she wanted to be vice president. And when they won the election, lots of people tried to say that they hadn't and to stop the change of power. But even more people knew the truth, that they had won. So Kamala Harris became the first Black person and the first woman to be vice president.
January 2021 to January 2025, she wanted to make our country better and more fair. Kamala had let her light shine. Do we want to bring up Kamala now?
Let's bring up Kamala. I
Yeah.
just forgot to put it in the script. As much as we want to believe that the work has been done, that Black people have the rights they need to survive, and that all are truly free, we know this is not yet true. Black Lives Matter continues the work along with many other organizations. We collected money this morning for More Squared, the Metro Organization for Racial and Economic Equity, because our church is a founding member and we support their work in anti-racism. And let me be clear, the call for justice is as strong now as it ever was. You know. We are living in dark times when people with power are using it to attack their own citizens, to control people, to remove people, to make all of us afraid to speak out against them. Today, we have looked at these moments in history, moments that sought to further freedom and extend rights, and we must learn that the work can never be done alone. The work for civil rights happened only because there were so many people, Black people, white people, other people of color, all working together because everyone saw the injustice for what it was. Everyone saw the abuses of power for what they were. When the leaders asked people to show up, people showed up. Unitarian Universalist ministers showed up in Selma, and one of them died because of it. College students showed up. Kids showed up and spoke out and protested even when the police turned against them. And so many people organized. They talked to each other, formed coalition, planned events like the March on Washington together to be this huge moment in history. And we must follow in their footsteps. We must be in the community, meeting people, working with our neighbors to meet this moment. We must show up when we are asked to show up. The organization March Minnesota has put out a call for clergy to show up. Learn with them about how to organize resistance and participate in demonstrations. On your behalf, I have accepted that call. And I'm going to show up in Minneapolis with hopefully hundreds, dare I dream thousands of other clergy from many faith traditions, and I will learn, and I will participate in demonstrations. I will offer my support, my ministry, and my presence to our distant neighbors who are literally under constant threat. This moment is ours, and it is our duty to join in resisting authoritarian power. It is our duty to support our immigrant neighbors. They deserve to be here as much as we do. It is our duty to push back again and again. That is what the civil rights movement did. That is what the esteemed Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did, whom we remember with reverence tomorrow. Let us hold on to his dream of a world we must imagine is possible. But more than remembering, more than holding, it is our time now. Our time to organize, our time to act. From our eldest to our youngest, All Souls is called to keep building the dream.
Right now, January 18th, 2026, the work continues and we are brave. We let our light shine. Let your light shine. We've just shared a story of struggle and courage and organizing community, and a story about brave people who chose to resist when the people in power told them not to. We heard about resistance and how that can sound like songs, it can look like marches, and it can feel like hope. And together we built this mosaic of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., reminding us that no movement is made by one person alone, but by many courageous people placed side by side. We learned that resistance comes in many forms. Sometimes resistance is loud, sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it looks like marching, but oftentimes resistance begins by first grounding ourselves, remembering where our strength comes from. And that is what we're going to practice right now. We are going to awaken our inner power together. I invite you to join me in what we call a social justice stretch. This embodied practice was created by Jackel Davis Hockett. You're invited to participate in whatever way feels right for your body today. That might be big movements, it might be small movements, it might be just imagining your movements. And we're going to repeat this stretch 3 times. And each time, I'm gonna go a little faster. And are you ready? Okay. I'm gonna stand. You don't have to stand, but I would like it to not feel alone. All right. Everybody, reach down. Find that power in the grassroots. Find it. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out injustice. Move in the winds of change. Good. Reach down for power from the grassroots. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out justice. Move in the winds of change. Reach down for power from the grassroots. Reach up to the sky for inspiration. Stomp out injustice. Move in the winds of change. Well done.
Go out and tell our story. Let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. How justice was our battle, and how justice was denied. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight, that sometimes there are battles which are more than black or white. And I could not put down my sword when justice was my right. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. Go out and tell the stories to your daughters and your sons. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. And tell them in our struggles we were not the only ones. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. Your sword can be a sermon or the power of the pen. Teach every child to raise his voice, and then, my brothers, then can justice be demanded from 10 million righteous men. Make them hear you. When they hear, I'll be near you.
We release this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I've got a couple of things to quickly tell you. First, there's a yellow ribbon in the lobby. I'm going to attach it to my stole when I participate in demonstrations in Minneapolis next week. Please symbolically come with me by writing your first name on the ribbon. We will show up together, all of you with me on that ribbon. Second, I'm offering a UU Basics class for visitors in the library at noon, so when we can all get there. Please come and learn more about us. Childcare is available in the nursery. In the nursery?
Yes, and bigger kids downstairs.
Okay, so nursery for little kids and downstairs for bigger kids for both the class and the special congregational meeting. The history shows us a way. We can even learn new ways, but we must show up. The time is now. Remember and act. We'll do it together.